FNAF movie is coming out this year, and we only know about 1 or 2 of the scenes that are actually confirmed for the movie. And a week or 2 ago, I created my FNAF movie timeline, giving a general timeline for what I think happens in the movie, but there's still so many iconic scenes from both the games and the books that deserve, they need to be on the big screen. Also, Editing Me has volunteered to do all the animations for this video, because I just know you love your little animations and visuals. Anyway, these are 5 things that need to happen in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Alright, this is one of the more obvious scenes, the missing children's incident. Everyone knows this one as it's what kicks off the dark story of FNAF, and it's what leads the children to getting stuffed into and possessing the animatronics, and ultimately leads to us playing through Five Nights in that crusty old office. This one is almost definitely in the movie, as we've seen the castings for the children, and that's made even more obvious by the label for the casting. Ghost children? No need to spare us all the details. Well, we already know that scene's in the movie, but how would that scene go? The scene could be filmed from the perspective of one of the children as they're lured into the back room, with quick cuts and shaky camera work adding to the tension and horror. So not shown in full, but briefly during a flashback. And this scene leads us directly to the next one, which means this could be a bit of a 2-for-1, but I'm gonna count it as 2. Alright, we've talked about this a few times now. We don't have any confirmation whether or not Springtrap is in this first FNAF movie, but we all know he's most likely gonna show up at some point, considering Matthew Lillard signed up for 3 movies, and I mean, you know. Now, when I say the reveal of Spring Bonnie, I don't mean the spring lock scene. We'll get to that. Or not. Who knows what script writing me put into this list. I have a feeling we won't be seeing the spring lock failure in this first movie, but I have a strong feeling we'll see William Afton suited up in his yellow killing suit at some point, and I think it could go one of 2 ways. Either during that flashback I talked about just now, the children will either just straight up see Spring Bonnie looking very creepy, maybe looking down on them from the dark room he's hiding in, and this would make for a terrifying reveal, as we never actually see him taking the kids, but his presence would just be so unsettling. Another way they could do his reveal would be to build up to it like they did with the Silver Eyes book. But obviously more drastic. I just referenced the Silver Eyes because, well, I love the Silver Eyes. And I think the book did a great job of like building up to the big reveal. Anyway, when the children are getting taken to the back room, maybe we only see a yellow fur-clad hand reaching out from the dark, beckoning them in. And throughout the pizzeria, or pizzerias, we'll see the background art of this retired yellow bunny animatronic. Never the focus of the scene, but always there, watching. In more flashbacks, we'll see more slight glances. Maybe he's lurking around the corner when the police arrive after each murder. Maybe we'll see his reflection in the security cameras. They could even mirror the cover of Into the Pit if they really want to throw those Easter eggs and references in. This is a bit of a side note, but jumping back to Springtrap quickly, I think it would be so cool if they had a scene like the one from Lord of the Rings Return of the King with Gollum's origin story. They could show a flashback as the intro to the next movie, where you see Spring Bonnie slowly transitioning into Springtrap. I think that could make for such a cool scene. Sorry, Editing Me, that's just a little bit more work for you. Something I am dying to see is the origin story of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and by extension, Fredbear's Family Diner. I am incredibly doubtful we're gonna get that, at least not in like clear-cut scenes, because, well, it's FNAF, and FNAF never makes any sense. However, I do think we'll see a few short flashbacks in the movie, showing the early days of the franchise. Probably just some quick glances at the layout and children having fun, probably in a very dreamlike and surreal style. Then maybe in the later movies we'll get something more proper, maybe even as the intro to the movie.
Was that the bite of 87?
Alright, you all knew this was coming. The bite of 83? I've honestly forgot what the bite of 87 was at this point because we never actually see it. Was that ever fully explained? No? Nothing in FNAF is? Well, that's... Alright, that's just unhelpful. Anyway, I would love for this to go exactly how I said it in my timeline video. So roll the clip, Editing Me. Lucky bastard gets a break. The movie opens up in what appears to be a restaurant specializing in family entertainment and fun. However, we're not focused on the games and prizes, we're focused on a scared boy, hiding, maybe under a table or near the door to a back room. Suddenly, he's pulled to his feet by older kids in masks, giving us our first jump scare and our first look at anything Freddy's related. The older kids are all talking and laughing. Wow, your brother's such a baby, isn't he? What, are you scared of Freddy? Let's give him a closer look, the boy in the foxy mask states. The older kids pick up the scared, crying child and carry him over to what appears to be a stage with 2 large, upright animals. We can't quite see them, or really see their head, as the focus is still on the crying child, who's now kicking and screaming, trying to get away. We only see the silhouette of the animals, maybe even a glimpse at their feet, before they stop in front of the stage. The crying child, now face to face with the yellow furred bear, slowly looks up, but all we can see is his terrified face. The camera cuts to a different angle. All we see is the back of the bear with its mouth sticking out. The older kids shove the child upward right into the jaws of the yellow bear. The camera pans as we see struggling and squirming. Then the jaws of the bear clamp shut, then nothing. They all stop moving. Damn, I still love that. Also, side note, if my theater doesn't immediately yell,
"Was that the bite of 87?"
I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. Speaking of which, maybe we actually get to see that, yeah? If we don't end up getting the bite of 83, maybe we can finally answer who caused the bite of 87? Maybe in another flashback scene when someone is explaining like, yes, things were good until the animatronics started acting up. One particular incident known as the bite of 87 really gave the restaurant a bad reputation. This one I think is extremely important, not just for the sake of the character, but for the sake of whatever scene they're in. I think it could make it very impactful, and we'll get into that right now. The introduction of the puppet is absolutely necessary, as they play a key role in the FNAF storyline, being the one who guides the children's souls to their new animatronic bodies. Their protector or savior, if you will. Introducing them in a flashback, maybe a recollection of Afton's, adds a new layer of mystery to the already haunted world of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. That could be our first look at them, but I would love to see Mike have an encounter with them as well. The scene could be very surreal again and have this otherworldly feeling to it. I don't know about anyone else, but I've always seen the puppet as more of like a force of nature or like an entity rather than just another haunted animatronic. And I think that's because they clearly had more power and influence than the others did, and I want that to really show in whatever scene that they appear in. Maybe when Mike sees them it's at the end when he finally confronts his dad, maybe? No idea what the ending will be like. But when the dust clears from whatever is happening, maybe he'll see the puppet floating by to help the children once again, leading them away to safety. A scene like that would be so good, and it would make for like a perfect ending, but still leave things a little bit open as there's still more mystery to explore. If we don't get that in the beginning, I feel like we'll probably get that, something like that at some point, especially given the after night mini games that they do, like the, is it called Save Them? What is it called? Especially stuff like the Save Them mini game, the Give Them Life mini game. All those scenes are pretty much the only like cinematics we have in the FNAF games, and I think they need to be put onto the screen in some capacity, either through a flashback, something like that. I think it's necessary. Also, I realize I mentioned a lot of flashback scenes, and we do have confirmation that this movie mostly takes place in present day, with some flashbacks to the 80s, so I'm sure a lot of these won't actually make it into this movie at least, and I'm actually very okay with that, and we really prefer to have most of these scenes for the next movie. I don't know why, but FNAF 2 has always had this more surreal feeling to me because of the newness of the animatronics contrasting with the originals, being very vibrant and having this unrealistic feel to them, as well as the area that you're in. Everything seems so much more new and in use, whereas in FNAF 1 things seemed a lot more run down and old. And I have no idea if script writing me checked to see if that sentence made any sense, so very cool. I also think flashbacks are perfect for the second FNAF movie because it'll pay homage, I don't know how to say that, sorry, to FNAF 2 being a prequel to FNAF 1, and the fact that it added more questions than answers to the original game. I think it's just very poetic, symbolic, one of those meaningful words. And yeah, those are 5 scenes that I think absolutely need to be in the movie, or at least one of them. I tried to be a little bit more original. I haven't really seen other people's videos talking about this, though I have seen that people have made them, but I kind of just wanted to focus on my own thing and try not to have other people's thoughts influence my own personal list. Hopefully this was original, and hopefully you enjoyed it, because I genuinely love making videos like this. But that is going to be just about it. What did you guys think of the list? And what scenes do you think absolutely need to be in the FNAF movie, either this one or within the next movies going forward? Anything like that, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to see your guys' ideas. But yeah, that's just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.